Well, glory be and mercy me, we've done it yet again. Here we are, daily walk around the graveyard. So I was doing my daily research for the live stream that I do, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please come in, let's have a cry, let's try to organize, let's try to get our ducks in a row about this enormous climate change catastrophe that's being brought in by the liberals. At this point, we can say it pretty clearly that the liberals are false saviors. They tout a big horn about how much they care about climate change. They play a big game about, oh, we're going to do something to prevent climate change and all this, but they're the worst offenders in possibly the world when it comes to actually dealing with climate change. You can take a look at this article that I've come across here, where they're literally saying, oh yeah, you know that 2030 thing that we said we were all caring about? Yep, we all care about the 2030 net zero. We got to hit some, all this. Well, when it comes to the fossil fuel industry, you know, the people who are creating the apocalypse, oh, we'll just give them a break, right? But you know who we're really going to go after? Farmers. We're definitely going to go after farmers and make sure that we have less crops and less food and less of a yield, while simultaneously doing everything we can to continue enriching a fossil fuel industry and the people who own the fossil fuel industry. We're really running up against like a pretty basic biblical principle here, right? You can't serve both God and money. You can't serve both people and profit. You can't serve the people who want to destroy the planet and who benefit from the destruction of the planet, and the people who want to live on that planet. You have to choose, right? And these liberals have chosen. They have chosen the destruction of the planet. It's very straightforward, and it's very obvious that that's what they're doing. They want to generate famines. They want to generate despair. They want to generate destruction. Just look at the decisions that they're making. And when I talk like this, right, the number one comment I'm getting in my channel and in my views from people who just wander on in, right, is, oh, this is extreme talk, John, and you're gonna alienate you're gonna alienate moderates, and this sounds so authoritarian, right? First of all, there are no moderates in this conversation, right? If I take a gun and point it at your face, right, and go boom, boom, right, what's the moderate position in that? It's either don't do it or do it, right? There's no moderate position anymore. The people who are walking around saying, oh, we need to find a centrist moderate position on climate change are essentially siding with fascists at this point, because they're just going to let it happen, right? That's what we're seeing. They're just happy to allow it to happen. And let it happen while saying, oh, but I don't want to alienate moderates who don't exist in the first place, right? You're a fascist, sweetie. It's time to grow up, and it's time to realize it. The idea that the solutions and that exist, right? Nationalize the fossil fuel industry, right? Actually do so. Like here in the city of Toronto, go down to Yonge and Dundas. There are billboards lit up 24/7, right? NFTs are still a thing. Cryptocurrency is still a thing. We don't care about climate change. We don't care even a little bit. And to say we should get rid of these things, what do people say to me? Oh, that's authoritarian. That's authoritarian. And I've come to realize that when these absolute losers come in and say that it's authoritarian to have rules and then follow them, it's no different than a 5-year-old complaining about bedtime. That's the level of discourse that we're having at this point. That we've set a rule, and we should set a rule, like, don't destroy the planet, right? There's a good rule. Don't destroy the species. There's a good rule, right? And if we expect people to follow those rules, we're authoritarian suddenly. So we're in a childish baby brain space where the leaders of the country are actively attempting to destroy us, actively at this point, while working as hard as they can to starve us and lie to us about what it is they're doing. There's no other explanation for what they're doing, right? That a party that actually cared about the issue of climate change, which is the number one pressing issue in Canada and the world, no doubt, the number one thing that you would do is nationalize the fossil fuel industry. Albert Einstein said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Well, keeping the fossil fuel industry privatized in a quote-unquote free market system, even though it's heavily subsidized by our government, is it working? Has it ever worked? Is it actually declining fossil fuel emissions? Is it actually working? No, quite the opposite. And so to believe that we should just do capitalism harder or do more free market solutions harder is baby brain talk. There's a reason why the number one group that when it's time to vote in election season is non-voters, right? And when you ask these people, hey, why didn't you come out and vote? The number one reason, I don't see a difference between these parties. Because fundamentally, there isn't a difference between these parties. There's no difference between the Conservatives and the Liberals and the NDP on the issue of climate change, the number one issue that's actually going to destroy us whatsoever. Because all of them, to an individual, are saying, oh, we just need to do free market capitalism harder. We just need to maybe put a little regulation here, maybe put a little thing here, ban some straws, right? Like we just need to do a little thing over here and this, that, and the other thing. But at the end of the day, the house burns down anyway, kids. And they're all gonna stand there when the house is burning down and they're all gonna say, what can you do about it? Only you can prevent forest fires, right? Only you can prevent climate change. Forget about the jets, forget about the super yachts, right? Forget about the rich and the powerful people who are actually doing the massive amount of polluting. Forget about the car industry. Like we're literally selling big super tanker trucks. Forget about all that. Forget about all that. It's you, the guy. You have a computer. You're doing this on an iPhone, so you're a hypocrite. The only thing left for us to do at this stage in the game is to surround the halls of power. The people who are not voting, and you are right to not vote for your own destruction, the people who are not voting need to organize, need to come together, need to surround the halls of power, need to protest en masse, need to redraw the Constitution, need to say in it things like, maybe not destroy the species. Maybe that should be considered a high crime like treason. Hey, maybe we should arrest these fossil fuel executives who are well aware of what they're doing, who know what they're doing, and don't care, right? How about we put in it, hey, food and shelter. Maybe that should be a thing, right? Like if the Liberals actually cared about climate change, the first thing they would be doing is passing a basic income, nationalizing the fossil fuel industry, laying off huge sections of the populace that are responsible for generating poverty while still taking care of them, right? But they don't want to take care of them. They're on the path for destruction. And the only way to prevent it at this point is to surround the halls of power. If we care, incidentally. On a kind of hubu-jubu note, a spiritual or existential note, I worry that we're just staring into the void and we've been entranced by it. I worry as a people that we are just caught up in the void, and the call to the void sings out to us, and it looks like more and more of us are just happily marching into it, taking the species with it. If you don't want that fate for yourself, for your children, for future generations, come, organize. We have to surround the halls of power. There's nothing left to do. There's no alternative. Electoral politics has failed. There's nothing left. All right, guys. Always remember, you're a quantum being, a temporal refugee in this reality. The billionaire class is spending hundreds of billions of dollars in the hopes that you'll never realize it. You'll just stay the good little commodity they need you to be. Revolt, rebel, repent. Good luck. We're gonna need it.